right, Matrixx and Rhodes Show supporters. Well, the elites in Hollywood and the leftists that are trying to run our country straight into the ground, they would love nothing more than the everyday American to be disarmed. We've got an invasion at the border. We got crime running rampant all over the place. Carjackings, murders. We've seen what's happened in Chicago, New York, San Francisco, L.A., hell, even in places like Houston and Dallas where they have Democratic leadership, even in a red state. We see what these Democratic hellholes look like. And they would love nothing more, the elites and the celebrities on their high horse, living in mansions in gated communities and with 10 and 12-foot tall fences and private armed security, would love nothing more than you as an American to not be able to defend yourself or your rights. They would love that. So you would be vulnerable, and your family would be vulnerable for them to do whatever they please, including trying to tell your kids what gender they need to be. You don't very often see anyone in Hollywood fire back or push back on having our rights taken away from us. Well, enter in one of the GOATs, one of the absolute legends. Escape from New York, Tango and Cash, Big Trouble in Little China, Dark Blue, Unlawful Entry. The list goes on and on. The Thing. Tombstone. And we'll talk a little bit about Tombstone in this video as well. Of course, I'm talking about the great Kurt Russell, the Hateful Eight. I mean, again, one of the greatest actors, I think he's in my top three. To be honest with you. Well, he got into a bit of a sparring session, and, well, it didn't take long for him to look like Muhammad Ali, because he destroyed this woke writer, as this woke writer is trying to talk about taking away your gun rights. Kurt Russell pulled no punches, as you can expect from Kurt Russell. And no holds barred. Let's listen.
Yeah, I don't understand the concepts of conversation of the gun culture. We've lived with guns since, what, the 7th century or something? I don't know.
We all know that right now guns is a trope. It's it's not a trope, it's a totem, it's a metaphor that disenfranchised white guys need. It makes them feel good because they're being
You can say what you want. I don't agree with that. So it's not my thing.
But it's statistically...
Well, you can look. If you think gun control or something like that is going to change a terrorist point of view, I think you're like out of your mind. I think I think anybody is. I think it's absolutely insane. The problem we're having right now is that we don't have the concepts of how to turn it around and say, you may think you've got me worried about what you're going to do. Dude, you're about to find out what I'm going to do. And that's going to worry you a lot more. And that's what we need. That will change the concept of gun culture, as you call it, to something of reality, which is if I'm a hockey team and I got a guy bearing down on me as a goaltender, I'm not concerned about what he's going to do. I'm going to make him concerned about what I'm going to do.
I get that.
To stop him. That's when things change.
Obama's point was that the guys who are on the no-fly list because of terrorist connections can get a gun pretty easily.
They can also make a bomb pretty easily.
Yeah.
So what? They can also get knives and stab you. What are you going to do about that? They can get cars and run you over with them. What are you going to do about that? What are you going to do about that?
They didn't kill the people in San Bernardino.
Oh, but they've killed others that way. Haven't they? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? Outlaw everything? That isn't the answer.
Just put some controls.
Put some controls. What? So the people who want to defend themselves can't?
No, not so you can't. Just so the idiots can't get a hold of them. That's
Do you really believe they're not going to? Are you serious about that?
Yeah,
are you seriously? What good will that? Oh my God! You and I just disagree.
Okay.
You and I just disagree. I understand that you think that you can control the behavior of people that are dead set on taking your way of life away from you. I think you can control that.
No, I didn't say
and
that.
there's only one thing you can do with that, and that's say, no, dude, that's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen.
Speak with you, man.
Good talking with you.
And as you can tell, he wasn't having any of it. He said, look, we've got to make the criminals think twice about not what it is they're going to do, but what are we going to do back? You can't, the criminals are just automatically conceding that your everyday law-abiding citizen is not going to have the ability to defend themselves unless they have their gun rights. And Kurt Russell's right, and this is what's always lost. The criminals will get guns no matter what kind of laws you put in place because, well, hell, they're criminals, and that's what they do. They break the law. Do you think they really care if they're going to break the law to harm you? They care about checking off some boxes when getting a gun? Of course they don't. Of course they don't. And Kurt Russell, and honestly, this kind of doesn't surprise me with Kurt Russell. Now, he's not a conservative, but he is a libertarian. And most libertarians I know will vote, you got it, for America First and Donald Trump in the election. But my point is, Kurt Russell doesn't give a damn. He doesn't care. He's not going to subscribe to whatever kind of politics somebody like Taylor Swift has. No. He's not buying into it. He's not having it. The fact is, there are a lot more libertarians and conservatives in Hollywood. There's a new Hollywood blacklist. A lot of people don't know this, but there is. And it pertains to Hollywood actors and actresses that are either libertarian or conservative now. They're blackballed. It's just, Kurt Russell is such a great actor, and he's had so many iconic roles like this one, that you just can't cancel him because people love him and want to see him on the screen. So, and I love Tombstone. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It would, if I was to sit down and do like a top 40 list, Tombstone would be in that list. It would be on that list. It's one of the most quotable movies ever made. Everybody knows all the different quotes. You tell them I'm coming and hell's coming with me. All these great lines. That was one of his lines. All those characters, Val Kilmer, Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, Powers Booth, Michael Bay. My God, what a good film. I saw that movie 4 times in the theater. He made some comments about this movie. He thinks that it is partially a testament to the, quote, dialogue and people can recall incredibly well in comparison to other Westerns. Russell also went on to praise his time working with Kilmer on Tombstone. Now it's being considered one of the greatest Westerns ever made, so I'm happy about that. I could have told you that the moment I left the theater the very first time. I can't say that, but I'm hearing that, and more people are saying that now. The impact of the movie, well, I give that to one story, and I don't mean to say that as in any way or a put down, although there are certain people involved, Kevin Costner not being one of them. Kevin's a good guy, but there were other people involved in that were not good guys to me. Once I said, hey, how about if we do this and that, maybe we can do some things together. And I said, I could kill you and yours, and you could kill me and mine. This one individual, we're going to kill a lot of people in Wyatt Earp. And there were some people standing around. I thought, F you, buddy. I'm going to take you on full force, full frontal nudity. Let's go. You're going to run into Wyatt Earp. So those movies came out very closely together, Wyatt Earp and Tombstone. Great things about both. Look, Wyatt Earp is a good film, but it is not even in the ballpark of Tombstone. And again, it is a good movie. Wyatt Earp is a good movie, but they came out very close together. And there's only one of the two I saw 4 times in the theater. I saw Wyatt Earp 1 time, and that was it. But, it's not only the heroes, but it's the villains in those films that make them great. And, look, there was a time I could quote every line in Tombstone, and probably if I put the movie on to watch it right now, it would just be like any of the Star Wars films. I could literally quote the entire movie. as the movie's playing. But there's one undeniable thing. When you name me another Western where you can recall as much dialogue as people recall from Tombstone, it's not even close. Much more so than any other Western. That's undeniable. If you're asking me if it was great working with Val Kilmer, who played Doc Holliday on Tombstone, the answer is absolutely. And man, even the character actors in that, I mean, it was just unimaginably great. People forget, even Jason Priestley was in that movie. Billy Zane. You know, it was a remarkable film. It really was. But Kurt Russell's got a lot of them. I love the fact that, look, he said, look, we're not going to agree on this, on the gun control. And he's very vocal about the fact that Americans need to be able to defend themselves. Yeah, guns are a part of it. It's part of our fabric. And much like Kurt Russell, you'll peel ours from our cold, dead hands. People are not, look, sane people are not going to give up their guns. Ever. Ever. It's part of our rights as an American living in this country. And as this country goes more and more downhill, the need for self-defense is going to do nothing but continue to escalate. Plain and simple. My hat's off. One of my favorite actors, now I can be like, okay, you know, Kurt Russell, I know exactly where he stands now. Man, there's a lot of great actors that have been blackballed. I seriously doubt he will. But there's a lot of great actors that have been blackballed right now. Jon Voight, you know, James Woods, Mel Gibson, you know, Jim Caviezel. Hey, you put all those guys in there, add in Kurt Russell, I don't care what you call the movie. I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I won't even have to think about it. I'll watch it. And I think there's a lot of guys in Hollywood, believe it or not, like Kurt Russell, but they won't ever come out of the shadows because they won't work again. And they know it. They just won't be able to work. You know, who knows how much fire Kurt Russell's going to take over this, but it's glorious. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out.